guys, I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I've been at work. I've actually just finished work, hence it being dark. But I've had to pop out because I've forgotten something. So that gives us the opportunity to do a quick vlog. Last one I did was in Amble. Get out of here because it just had an extreme downpour which I had to ride home in, but nonetheless I survived. Bit of experience. He's going to let me through because he's nice. So yeah, last one was Amble. Since then there's been a couple of things, not major. First one being oil. I noticed I did a bike check the other day before I jumped on a more thorough one than I normally do. Just basically check and make sure that all the levels are correct, the brake fluid, all that type of stuff. And I realised that I was running rather low on oil. So my next dial I had basically was what oil to get. I checked through the manual and it said 10W40. But fair enough, rather easy to remember. But then I wasn't sure whether I should go synthetic or fully synthetic. I know some people say there's not really much difference if your engine works on that. But I contacted the guy I had the bike from before, I'm still in contact with him. And I basically asked him, and he said he used fully synthetic. So I goes out to shops and has a look around, and I goes into Halford, and I have a look in Halford, and now they had this Castrol racing stuff. And I looked at the price, 15 quid. And my arse hit the floor. How can you charge 15 quid? This is for 1 litre, by the way. It's not like a 4 litre big thingy, it's like just 1 litre. And I'm sitting thinking, how can you justify charging £15? Well, there's got to be somewhere cheaper. So I'm having a wander around various locations and shops. And I went into plenty of bike shops, and they didn't seem to have what I wanted in 1 litre. I only had it in like the 4 litres, and I thought the oil is just being changed on the bike itself, like it being a full oil change. It takes 3.5 litres including filter. So I only wanted the 1 litre, and I didn't want to wait by looking on eBay. Didn't want to wait to do that because then there's a possibility the engine will run out before I get it. So in the end I ended up going to Halfords and buying this 10W40 fully synthetic from Castrol Racing. I can't remember, I'll explain at the end. Tops the bike up, takes almost a full litre, which I was very surprised at. I didn't realise I was running so low. So I had a bit of a panic attack, and I chucked the rest of the bike over and I took it out for a little ride, and the gear changes, absolutely fantastic. Just in general, using the oil has increased the bike so much. And I asked the previous owner what he was putting in his, and he was just putting like cheapy Superstore stuff in. And I thought, alright, okay. Thought everyone had their own, but I'll try this. And to be honest, I know a few people say you can use like normal motor oil as long as it hasn't got the ecolife stuff in it, because obviously a bike's gears and engine itself both use the same oil, and this ecolife stuff was like, it's got additives in that don't allow the clutch plates to move so well, so that was a learning curve there. I just want to know who uses normal oil, like normal car oil, and who prefers, just out of the safety of buying it, paying that extra £3 or £4, which seems extortionate and is, and getting motorbike specific stuff. Now don't get us wrong here, car stuff you can buy is approved for motorbikes, and there's a little code word on the back that tells you whether it's like approved with use for motorcycles. So it means that obviously manufacturers aren't denying the fact that you don't have to use a motorcycle specific brand. I mean, my personal opinion, I'm going to, just because it'll hopefully extend prolongity of the engine itself. So I'm going to use motorcycle oil, like specifically designed, which I don't mind. Like I say, my question is, how many of us have used or continue to use and swear by just using normal car oil? I haven't really looked into much into this one. I just thought it was something to start a good conversation on. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Anyway, in other news, I was watching a video from I think it's motor vlogging, some guy like that. I'll put him in the description. I think he's quite a cool guy. Ooh, the street lights have gone up down here. Not good. Might be off that storm I've just had. Okay, this makes things interesting. I piss him off in front and put my high beams on. Nah, I won't. It's dangerous. Anyway, back to what I was on about. So, basically, where the hell was I? Oh yeah, I was watching this video by this moto vlogging dude who I think is pretty cool. I've watched a few of his videos. I'm subscribed. And he was on about disabled bays. I agree with them. There's loads and loads of disabled bays. Sometimes it seems as if there may be too many. But in my job role, one of my pet hates is, we'll stay politically correct here. One of my pet hates is able-bodied members of the community, aka me and you. We've got full access to every single limb and bone. I know that wasn't politically correct, but still. So yeah, they sit and jump in disabled people's parking areas. And it just so happens that when this one disabled person comes along and wants to use said disabled bay, a whole big argument ensues my entire workday. Because now the disabled person obviously wants to be in that bay and is complaining that they can't get in that bay because some able-bodied person is using that bay. Now, in my town, I really shouldn't have done that. I apologise. So bad. I feel so bad for that one. Damn it. Learn from that one, people. I couldn't actually say but there was a glare. I couldn't say right? Probably need to clean my visor, but nonetheless. Anyway, so yeah, I ended up having to deal with this argument between the disabled person, or they like to seem to call themselves invalids. I think that word's rather offensive if you call someone invalid, but I'll use whatever term they call themselves to describe themselves. Because if I call them disabled, they might think disabled is offensive. But anyway, in this town, there's probably just the right amount of disabled bays, if not they could do with more. Because they're always full, they're always being used, which is good. And to be honest, there's never really any issue with seeing people in, like able-bodied people, in these bays. But when they are, they get what they get, right? They get a ticket. And I think that's justified. I think at the end of the day, with the politically correct environment that we live in, if we provide disabled spaces for disabled people, we should then make sure that them spaces are used for disabled people. It makes sense, right? The council, or whoever it is that owns your local roads, pays this money to have these disabled bays put in for these disabled people, and when they then get misused and they've got people complaining, then disabled bays being told to clear out the window, innit? I know it can't be helped, some people are just disrespectful in that way. It's like, to be honest, motorcycle bays, that's another one. We'll go on to motorcycle bays. Now, however, it's not as bad as a disabled bay. We can go in a normal bay just as much as anybody else. But you do get the odd people that will park in a motorcycle bay. Now, to me, it doesn't bother us because why do we need specific bays? I mean, come on. I mean, I know sometimes, like, I'm going into a car park here now, right? It's empty. But at times when it's full, people are racing around for bays. And when they're racing around for bays, they're not paying attention to, like, a motorcycle that's maybe parked a bit further in than what a car would. Because you're not going to see a motorcycle parked in the bay, so they're going to smash into the back of it. But that's why I park on, like, out of the bay just a tiny little bit so they can see the tail end of the bike or the front end of the bike, whichever end's sticking out, which I think is fair enough. That's justifiable. But motorcycle bays, getting tickets for motorcycle bays, I'm really not a great lover of that, are we? We can use a normal bay. We take up just, well maybe, well obviously we take up less room, but still, why do we have to be singled out and have our own special little bays? Are we really that much of a menace? I don't think we are. I mean, some people may view it as we take up one whole parking space for my tiny little bike.